Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're taking something that usually causes pure, unadulterated panic and turning it into a clear, predictable timeline. If you've ever dealt with a sudden plumbing emergency in your home, the kind of absolute nightmare property owners face on the Chicago North Shore, you know exactly the kind of chaos I'm talking about. It just feels so overwhelming. But today, we're going to transform that chaotic rush into a calm, structured, step-by-step sequence. Because let's face the reality here, emergency drain issues literally never happen at a convenient time. You're getting ready for work, or maybe you're hosting a dinner party and suddenly disaster strikes. We're talking about a true sensory nightmare. You've got those terrifying gurgling sounds echoing from your pipes, the horrifying sight of standing water pooling up exactly where it shouldn't be, and of course, those awful odors that immediately put your entire household on edge. It's an instant, massive spike in stress. Okay, let's dive into this. When the drain actually backs up, what exactly happens next? Like when you make that panicked phone call to a professional, what is the actual sequence of events that follows behind the scenes? In this explainer, we're going to act as your chronological roadmap. We're totally demystifying the professional process so we can just eliminate the stress of the unknown. So here's exactly how a professional response unfolds. We'll walk through the emergency triage, the arrival and assessment, high-tech diagnostics, clearing the line, and finally, your role as the homeowner. Let's kick things right off at the very beginning with Phase 1, the emergency triage. It's incredibly important to understand that the resolution to your plumbing disaster actually begins the very second the phone rings. Professional providers operate at a brisk, action-oriented pace right out of the gate. The dispatcher is going to run through a highly specific triage checklist with you. They'll ask about the exact location of the blockage, the affected fixtures, any standing water, and those odd sounds we mentioned. And listen, these aren't just polite customer service questions to calm you down. It's rapid-fire data collection. This ensures the truck is loaded with the exact right gear before the team even hits the road. Which brings us seamlessly to Phase 2, arrival and assessment. The absolute second the technician pulls into your driveway, the clock is ticking. They're there to take immediate control of the situation, following a strict protocol, verifying pathways, inspecting cleanouts, and most importantly, containment. You see, the absolute first priority isn't always ripping into a wall to fix the pipe. Frequently, the most critical step is immediate water management. They've got to contain the situation to protect your property from lasting, catastrophic water damage. Once that immediate threat of flooding is contained, we move right into Phase 3, high-tech diagnostics. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that this is where we slow our pacing down for a second. Because modern plumbing, it's an exact science. There is no more random guesswork or blindly digging up your entire yard just hoping to find a leak. Instead, they use a sewer inspection camera. This is a specialized tool fed directly into your plumbing to locate obstructions and evaluate the pipe's condition from the inside out. Instead of guessing, the technician can literally see what's happening in real time right beneath the ground or behind your walls. And what do they usually find staring back at them through that camera lens? Well, usually it's years of heavy grease buildup or aggressive tree roots that have broken through the line. And trust me, roots can infiltrate pipes at a truly surprising speed just searching for water. Or they might even find fully collapsed pipe sections. They might also use pressure or jetting diagnostics here to figure out exactly how far these blockages extend before they even lift a single wrench. Armed with all this brilliant high-tech visual data, we enter Phase 4, clearing the line. Because of the camera work, the method of attack can now be perfectly matched to the specific problem. You're often going to hear two main terms thrown around during this phase: traditional snaking, which is sometimes called augering, versus hydrojetting. To clear up the jargon, snaking is absolutely perfect for localized, specific clogs in a single line, but hydrojetting, that's the heavy artillery. It uses highly pressurized water, we're talking blasting it up to 4,000 psi, to scrub the inside of the pipes and completely flush out longer runs or obliterate stubborn, hardened buildup that a traditional snake might just poke a tiny hole right through. However, there are scenarios where the camera reveals that the line is just heavily damaged, like a completely collapsed section of pipe buried under your lawn. In that case, the goal entirely shifts. Emergency stabilization happens first, followed by long-term repair planning next. The technician's primary job is to stabilize the situation and stop the backup today, and then work with you to develop a customized, permanent repair plan to prevent repeat failures tomorrow. Which brings us to a highly empowering part of our explainer, Phase 5, the homeowner's role. Yes, the professionals are handling the heavy lifting and all that high-tech gear, but consider this your personal mission briefing. So, the crucial point is that following these exact steps reduces your overall risk and dramatically speeds up the service. Step 1. Keep your water usage strictly minimal. I mean it. Avoid running sinks or flushing toilets. Step 2. If you can do it safely, locate the nearest cleanout access point so you can point the technician right to it the second they arrive. And step 3, be ready to share relevant property history. Now, what exactly do we mean by property history? Think about any recent changes around the house. Have you had landscaping work done? Any major tree removals where roots might now be shifting around underground? Have you had past drain backups in this exact same spot? Or have you just been hearing unusual plumbing sounds over the last few weeks? Explaining this background context to the technician is quite literally like handing them a treasure map to the hidden problem. Finally, the immediate crisis is averted, and we enter the aftermath. A reliable emergency service, like the top-tier providers operating up on the North Shore, will always provide crystal clear communication after the job is complete. They aren't just going to pack up their truck and ghost you. They'll explicitly outline their findings, detail the specific actions they took, and provide clear next steps. That might mean scheduling a follow-up camera inspection down the road, or maybe suggesting a preventative maintenance routine to keep the whole shebang flowing smoothly. Which leaves us with this final, really provocative question to consider. Is your temporary emergency fix just waiting to become tomorrow's disaster? Look, when you're suddenly faced with a plumbing crisis, don't just settle for a quick, superficial bandage. Seek out lasting solutions, demand accurate diagnostics, and really understand the process. Thank you so much for tuning into this explainer. Keep this step-by-step roadmap in mind, and you are going to be perfectly prepared and totally empowered the next time your drains decide to act up.